Hi, I'm Skippy and this is Blubelle. So Blubelle took me a few years to make and quite a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but I'm going to show you how she performs and how easy it is to make everything work beautifully. We start off, we have a fire extinguisher, very important, and the electrics. This was a system that took me quite a while to work out, but we're running off a 200 watt solar panel with 2 leisure batteries. To date, even in the winter, she's been self-sufficient and off-grid. We have a hookup as well, but it's quite unnecessary. It hasn't been necessary at the moment, but if you wanted something a bit more powerful, yeah, the hookup works extremely well as well. Switching on, I have a lovely display to show you the batteries are fully charged at the moment. Obviously with our gorgeous sunshine, that's working very well. It's a 12 volt system running USB chargers. There's dotted all around the place, and LED lights and a compressor fridge, which is super efficient. As I say, to date, doesn't need a hookup on that system, it runs very well. We also have an inverter system that you can turn on to work a 240 volt plug system if you want to charge something more than a phone, so you can plug in a laptop or something more powerful. So that's our lovely electrical system. The bed. This is my key feature. It took me quite a long time to design. I wanted to make it as simple as possible, but with that problem of breaking it down so you can turn it into a sofa with a table as well. So, as simple as it can be, this slides out, clicks into place. Under here we have a jigsaw puzzle that fits in here. Oh, we should have the extra foam. This is that goes into position here. Now we have storage under here and under here for bags, etc. So you've got your basic cushions. Now, the piece de resistance. Lifting up the flap, pulling out your slats. This pillow goes across, this one drops down, and there you have your double bed. If these get in the way and you might not want to lay on them, they have little sockets they can just drop into inside the woodwork, and they just drop in there, drop away at night time, and they come out for when you need them, for when you're driving. That goes up. This velcros on. The slats just push away and drop back into their little hole. Cushion comes up. Put that there. Pillows back. Jigsaw puzzle comes off. Under there. Lift up. Push back. And there we have back into 2 sort of bench seats. And there is a table that fits here for your dining, and I'll come to that. So coming to the bunks, this is another thing that took me quite a long time to design. I wanted something obviously that could fit potentially 2 more adults. They're just under 6 foot, but also for older children, sort of teenage style. So the van itself can sleep up to 5 with a cab bed, so you can sleep 4 adults and 1 child, or anywhere in that mix basically. So these bunk beds, very straightforward. They have their own little lighting. Each one has a little noggin with some lighting. This top one has a USB charger as well for the maybe older teenager that wants to charge their phone in secret. They have, to stop the children rolling out, they have these canvas supports that hook up, so they go tight, and that just gives a little bit more support in case someone's going to roll out. Underneath the camp beds we have some more storage. So the design of the bunks, there's a little foot hold here so that child can hold on, put the foot on there and jump up to the top bunk. But also I wanted something a little bit different with these bunks. And so when designing them, I thought, how can we make a bit more space if we don't necessarily want the bunk bed? So what I've done is I've made some big bolts that pull out and down. And then the bunk bed slides down into a nice sort of sofa effect. So you've got more room when you're cooking, or if you want to just hang out, sit and read, look out the back window. So you've got like a bench seat sofa for that position. And then straightforward as it can be, again, to go back into a bunk, just lift up, making sure the bolts go all the way in and the handles of the bolts slide back up so no one's going to bump their head, and then you're back into the bunk. So the next thing I decided to have, and it was kind of a choice between a shower and a wood burner. Don't know if I made the right decision, but I do love this wood burner. As with the rest of the van, I tried to salvage as much scrap and reusable material as possible. So this was made, basically we fabricated it from scrap from a scrap yard. It's an old gas tank, and we found some edging, and the legs, they're all slightly wonky, but they were already cut out in a scrap yard, and we just welded it all together. So this is your wood burner, very simple to use. Wood goes in, or coal if you want to, multi-use, bit of air, light up and off she blows. In here we have accessories and lighting equipment. The handle, when it gets hot, obviously lifts up, and that's kept away. We have some kindling in this little hole, and we have another little space for other bits and bobs. Can boil a kettle on there or do some cooking once she gets hot. And then it's as safe as I could possibly make it. It's got a cement board, an air gap, and then recycled copper water tank. Come back to the bed section, just about curtaining. So we have curtains that pull here, we have curtains that pull here, we have blackout blinds for the front, curtains at the back. What we don't have, my wife loves darkness when she's sleeping. There was this patch, this is an air vent, which is exceptionally good for night time in the summer especially, for air, but it does let in light in the morning. So what I did, I made a little picture, and this little picture sits on the wall, but at night time pops on there, and then that just blacks out all the light that can come in there. There's a little light switch, and we just found this bit of nogging and sort of instantly went, oh, that needs to be a light and a light switch. You know? And this sort of framework so you can look into the cab. This was sort of, again, we saw these pieces and thought, what can we make that would just be slightly out of shape, and that sort of sprung up to mind. The ceiling, I decided, instead of many of the vans have wooden ceilings, and I love wood, it's you know, my absolute dream material, but I wanted something slightly different, and I'm really attracted by gypsy caravans which have a roll top roof and it's canvas, so I decided to make this canvas sort of roof. Each panel is separate and individual, so if they do get dirty I can remove them and replace them or clean them if needed. But that took a bit of time and thinking, but again, I just wanted something slightly different in the roofing, not just like the solid sort of the wood. Moving into the kitchen area, we have some lights for under kitchen, we have some herb jars, we have main lights above the kitchen as well. A standard gas hob, it works just like your home hob, very simple, very straightforward. It's a LPG system, and the tank, 45 litre tank, is outside underneath the van. I wanted to make this as safe as I could. I wanted to make the whole van as safe as I possibly could. Obviously we have a wood burner. I do have a fire guard for that as well that slots in front of the wood burner for young children. But I wanted the van to be safe, and I don't like the idea, and never liked the idea of having bottles in the van, and the risk of if one runs out, you have to, the person themselves have to change that bottle, and if they don't get it quite right, there is a risk there. So LPG system, as safe as it can be. There's one pipe coming in with 2 joins, and that's it. 45 litre tank outside, so it's good for a very, very long trip, if not a few years. So that's your hob system. We have a fridge As I say before, it's a compressor fridge. It works very efficiently on the 12 volt system. To date, even with that on, running full time, making ice cubes, the 200 watt solar panel has worked exceptionally well. The sink, now I went very low tech for the sink. Basically, the sink is a foot pump. The foot pump is down here. We have two 20-litre water bottles in the cupboard here, and that's just a simple case of pumping your water. And the reason I went low tech with this is because I believe the more you have to sort of manually do something, the less you use. And with the tap, you turn it on and water runs. Well, when you're foot pumping, you just literally use as much as you need, and then you finish. So it does save a lot of water. We have some cupboard space up here with teas and coffees and condiments. More space for food and bowls and cups. We also have a range of drawers. While driving, they're locked on because they do tend to move around, but once stationary, you just unlock all the drawers and they pop out. And in these we have a range of utensils, USB speaker. We have some little LED lights because I find at night time if you want some peace, the LEDs are quite bright, so you can just have a little bit of ambience with a couple of LED candles. Matches and games and things. We've got some dominoes. More space for sort of food, as well as pots and pans. And then in the bottom one we've got all plates and saucers and kettle and coffee maker, very important down there. While doing some washing up, what you might find if you don't want to wash up outside, I've got a little drainer, and in the cupboard here, this clips on underneath. So while you do your washing up, you can catch your water and just leave that draining there. So working with the toilet situation, I wanted to have something sort of an emergency toilet, not necessarily a big standard sort of hole where you needed to go, but you never know when you get caught short. So I compromised with a pull-out cassette toilet. It locks in place while driving around, but then you just pull it out and it can move around wherever you want it. Just your standard sort of cassette toilet with a little box with all your toilet roll and accessories and cleaning and liquids in there. Coat hooks up here as well. We have the rocker switch for the lights. If you come in the back door, it's a two-way system, either one side of these cupboards or the other, so you can turn it on or off from both ends. Unfortunately, British weather, sometimes you do need an umbrella, one of those. Another dustpan and brush, just a bit bigger, fitted in here. We also have a camping table, sort of a picnic table, and as I said before, there's the fire guard just tucked away around the back here. So just showing you the table. This can be done while the doors are shut, but just so you get a nice view of it. The table for the main sort of dining area sits when not being used, just tucks behind the bunk beds here, leg facing outwards. It sits in a little noggin, slides in the bottom, and as I say, you can access this and put it back while both these doors are shut, so you don't have to open the doors to get in, but we're showing you today so you've got a better look. So that's the table. Can also be used for surfing or a bit of ironing if you need it, but I don't think you do that on holiday, surely not. Okay, so the table leg just has a catch that undoes to release the leg. Oops, let's do that with two hands. There we go, and you clip that up, and then there's a little rail on the side of the van there, and that just sits in at an angle. You lift it up, hooks in, and there you have your table for the dining area. It can move one side or the other. It can also be up while driving, so if you've got passengers in the back, seat belted up, they can sit there with books, laptops, toys and games, something to draw with, and that's the table fixed and in place. So some of the artwork, I decided I wanted sort of little things around Blubelle, and my wife didn't get that much involved in the making of Blubelle because she was looking after her wonderful children, unfortunately. But I really wanted her to get involved with sort of decoration. So she picked, and this, you know, we're so proud of this. This was found in an art shop in Hamilton House in Bristol, which is unfortunately being sort of closing down as an art space. But yes, this is a local autistic artist, and it was just beautiful. We both saw it and we just absolutely fell in love with it. So I backed that and put that on the van, and it's all about sort of circles, wheels and colour.
I hope you enjoyed that content. If you hadn't noticed, we do have an ebook that we sell, and the link is just in the description. It contains 160 pages crammed full of practical advice, walkthrough information, electronic schematics and part lists, which will make your job a lot easier for doing a van conversion, and it will save you time and money. Also, we've created special videos for the ebook which enable you to see walkthroughs for how to do loads of things in a van conversion. So that's for water systems, for electrics, for how to do simple woodwork joints that anyone can do. And I really believe that anyone, regardless of their experience, can make a half decent van conversion. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you watching our content, and we put a lot of effort to make it interesting, informative, and find those cool projects that feature on our channel. Consider subscribing, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.